Yep. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am so grateful to you all for joining us today and learning a little bit more about who our marketing team is. So we're excited to have you here and be able to share all kinds of good news with you today. So what we will be doing, our agenda will be to introduce the members of our marketing team. We thought it was really important to not just start in hard and heavy with numbers and census and occupancy, but really introduce who we are. 50% of the marketing team is new from last year, so this will give you a really good opportunity to see who we are. So we will have each of our team members come up and introduce themselves in order of seniority. After we, poor Brandy has to get us going. After we learn a little bit about who our team is, both in terms of what they do at the ARC, what their a little bit of their resume, what makes them qualified to be here, and then what they do outside of work. We'll move on to just what has been going on. I just surpassed my first 100 days here, and I'm still on the job. So, thank you. That's great. So I'll talk a little bit about what's been going on in my first 100 days here, and then a little bit more about a vision for the future of the ARC in terms of a marketing perspective. So thank you for sharing this hour with us, and without further ado, we will get started with our marketing team. And first up is Brandy Davis, our Senior Sales Counselor.
It sure would be easier if I could stand and talk and not get nervous. So I do a lot of reading. I'm Brandy Davis, as she said, and I already know a lot of you from our time together choosing your new home here at the ARC. I've worked here on the sales team for 6.5 years, and I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I've always had a love for working with older adults, so I get to do what I love every day. Recently, I bought a house, and I have a new understanding of what you go through when you move here now. Oh my goodness, it's definitely a life-changing experience. The other lives, I wanted to introduce you to the other loves in my life. One is my daughter Taylor. Let's see. There it is. Okay, so that's Taylor, and she's a professional dancer. And you may have seen her, some of you may have seen her on the Royal Caribbean cruise line when you're taking your cruise. And then, that's me. When I went to buy my house, they had me hold that sign and take a picture. And up here, that's Ramsey. Ramsey looks like he's smoking a cigar, but it's a Chewy. It's a Chewy that he has. And Kiki, you can see Kiki next to Ramsey here in this picture. I got Kiki from Mrs. Gustine from the program, the cat program here at the ARC. So I took a little piece of the ARC home with me, and that's Kiki. And I just want to let you know that it's such a pleasure seeing your smiles as I'm giving the tour of the community, and I look forward to finding your next neighbor. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, so many of you know Brandy because she helped you get here, and she is phenomenal at what she does, and we're so glad that you're here with us. So next up, Johnny Mana is so much of our behind-the-scenes guy. He does our media content, all of our graphic work. Seems like a quiet guy, and then we'll send some real zingers of humor our way. So again, thrilled to have John with us. Let's hear a little bit about John's story.
Thank you, Terry. Just want to add that there's only 10% guy in the marketing team. That's me. Hello, everyone. My name is Johnny Mana. I almost forgot. So, media content and graphic designer is such a long title. You know, I've here 3 years, and to make it simple, my job is to make marketing strategy and ideas into compelling, memorable, and informative designs. Very simple, but it requires a lot of thought and a lot of teamwork. So, part of my job, number one, really is to make marketing designs. I do flyers, I do banners, business cards, everything you see that bears our logo. Next is I also do branding, brand management. I'll make sure that the most important aspect in our design, which is our brand identity, our logo, is used properly. So there are certain standards and guidelines to do it. You know, we need to follow it, and it's not only my job. You know, it's all of our job. We are brand ambassadors. You know, when you say brand, it's the most important thing. It is not actually. It's not the logo. It is the person. It is the ARC. Third, I also do advertising, social media, tech support, website, YouTube, things like that. I also do multimedia on the side, photography, videography, and last is I do print production oversight. So I make sure that our materials printed out, they arrive in time, they are within budget, and they have a nice quality. So, and I deal with a lot of vendors when I do that. And last but not least, it's not in my job description, but it's our job to be nice. So, yes, we are, you know, as we are representatives, you know, the marketing is the face. Is most guests and prospects, they see us first. And so that's it. So just a little bit of my career background. I have more than 20 years in communication and marketing designs. 12 years I spent in senior healthcare and senior retirement and healthcare. The rest of it I spent in Southeast Asia, most notably in Thailand. I worked for a couple of years over there. I have a degree in Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, and in software programming. That's my first job actually. But my dad, he's 79 now. He was a graphic designer. He influenced me to. Now during his time, it's not computer. It is like knife work. So I was there with him, sitting while he was doing it. My design philosophy is less is more. Cliche, but it's really true in design. You know, less is simplicity. Simplicity is clarity. Clarity is very effectivity. So, okay. Outside work, I'm just a normal guy. I'm just an ordinary guy trying to do extraordinary things for myself. So, I'm married to my wife, 13 years. Her name is Maria. She's at NP. Vastly different profession, but our love, our mutual love for the outdoors is what keeps us together. So as much as we can, we try to travel out. We love culture. We love to eat. Yeah, we love biking. Personally, my hobbies are geography. I like maps. I can memorize all the capital in the world, believe it or not. So, and then I also like to tinker on stuff. I broke a couple of things, but not my car, thank God. Yeah. And last but not the least, I can be sometimes a couch potato, but I'm an outdoorsy guy, to be honest with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, John. And I am gonna question your math because I'm gonna say you're 20% male team here. So a little bit of a balance there. Thank you, John. We are delighted. I mean, you can see again, quiet, hardworking guy who just keeps us all on our toes. All right, I'd love to introduce Diana De Leon. She is our assisted living marketing counselor, and she'll share a bit of herself and what she does.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am here this morning to talk to you about what my job entails, okay? And I know that a lot of y'all see me running from here to Lakeside to Crestway Healthcare, but that's because I cover both Crestway and Lakeside. But I am here to meet with individuals to share information about our assisted living facilities, Crestway and Lakeside. My job also entails that I provide you information with apartment sizes, the costs, the services, and our wait list process. I'm also involved with the residents when they're transitioning, preparing apartments for the incoming and outgoing residents, and I complete the new residents admission agreement packets and maintain communication with the people, with the individuals that are on our wait list. I conduct personalized tours and do outreach activities. My background here is I worked for the State of Texas Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program as a regional long-term care ombudsman in the Corpus Christi area. I retired after 34 years of service, and shortly I returned back to the workforce. And I worked for the past 6 years before coming here at a nursing home as a business office manager. And then I came here. And so, but I also worked part-time for 30 years in retail, okay? Enhancing my customer service and my sales skills, okay? And so here, my personal life during my time away from the art, I enjoy walking. I enjoy accompanying my husband of 53 years and spending time with our 10 grandchildren and one granddaughter, okay? And that's my life.
Thank you so much, Diana. I really love that Diana spent 34 years as an advocate. So if any of you aren't familiar with what the Ombudsman program is, that's what it is for senior care communities. Anybody having complaints or concerns can elevate those to an ombudsman, and then the ombudsman helps to solve problems and advocate for residents. So what a great combination of sales and retail and advocacy for seniors. So we're thrilled to have Diana. And next up is Crystal Duran. She is our other independent living sales counselor. She just joined us this year and is off to a huge start with our team. So thrilled to have Crystal, and come tell us about yourself.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Crystal Duran, and I'm a sales counselor here at the Army Residence Community. My role is to help prospective residents find their forever home as they begin the next chapter of their lives. I truly appreciate everyone who takes a moment to say hello when I'm out on a tour. Keep it coming. It really makes all the difference. My goal is simple. It's to fill every vacant unit with someone who will thrive here. I bring a diverse background to this role. I have a degree in early childhood education. Let me put this little down. It's a little too tall for me. I have a real estate license. I went to school for mortgage loan origination, and I have a certification as a military relocation professional. I have 20 years of experience in payroll, real estate, leasing, marketing, and outreach. What I love most about my job are everyone that works here and all of the residents and all the future residents I haven't met yet. I'm a lover of humanity and feel deeply grateful for every person that I meet. Now a little about me personally. I'm a proud military spouse. My husband was stationed in Korea by himself. Then that's when we met in Fort Bliss. We've been stationed there twice. Fort Campbell in Clarksville, Tennessee. We've been to Fort Ord twice. That's my favorite PCS. Fort Huachuca, that's my second favorite, in Sierra Vista, Arizona, and our final PCS is here in San Antonio. I am thankful to be here and to be part of the ARC family. Now on to my why, what I do outside of work. here we are. My husband just recently celebrated 20 years in the military. That's Mr. Paul Duran right there. Thank you. Thank you. He's been back and forth, as you all can probably relate, whether he's going to retire or not. But as of 2 weeks ago, he dropped his retirement packet. So I say we because it's been a journey for us. We decided to retire. So he is going to close that chapter. Then he's going to apply for law school at St. Mary's University. Next is our son, Justin. Justin is the one right there. He's holding the flag. He's been in the military for 3 years. He's in the Army. He is... He's currently at Airborne right now, so he's going on his 3rd week, and I see him next Friday when he graduates, so I'm so excited. Thank you. Last year, when he was stationed in Fort Lewis, he was named Soldier of the Year, and in Air Assault School, he was a Ruck March champion, so I'm very proud of Justin. Our daughter Leticia, she's the one with the red graduation hat. She's 18 and she's currently at Texas State University. She has her major in biology and her minor in pre-vet, so she is close enough to hug and far enough to fly. Now Lavea, she's the one up top. She's the athlete in our family. She's 17 years old. She's a senior in high school. She's played flag football, softball, and volleyball. And in May, when she graduates, she's going to join the Air Force. Thank you. Next is Samuel. We call him Sammy Hammy. He is 12 years old and in 7th grade. He plays tennis. He likes to cook. He likes to code. He likes to do all things. And finally, we have the 2 that run our household. That's Goomba and Stash. They are 3 years old and they're both doodles. Outside of work, I enjoy biking. I enjoy equine, running, traveling, estate sales. Ooh, I love those. And outside of the estate sales here, I like to go thrift shopping. Thank you, everybody.
And just so happy to have Crystal on board with us. Someone with such military experience lends, just an air of camaraderie with folks moving in here. So many talents that Crystal brings, and we're happy to have her. And finally, our second newest person here is Crystal Ball. Anyone who visits us up in the administrative offices sees Crystal and Emily out front. Crystal brings so much joy to all of us, but let her tell her story for herself.
Good morning. Yes, my name is really Crystal Ball. My parents did that to me, so I've had it my whole life. I don't have any siblings, so I don't have any great stories. However, when I would come home crying, my dad said I was lucky I wasn't a boy. Spitball. So there's that. He probably really would have done it. So anyways, I am the transaction coordinator here at the ARC, which basically means that once all these beautiful people sell the units, I get to do the paperwork. So I get to do all the nitty gritty, the not so fun stuff. I'm the one that's bugging for all those documents. I also get to do the closings, which is the fun part because I get to hand them their keys to their new apartments. So that's the fun part. As far as my background, I've been in banking. Property management is my biggest career. I did everything from lease ups to property manager, which was not fun or safe. I did a lot of Section 8. So I like to be here where it's safe and sound. I love to work out. Here's my why. I do have 3 children. They are all in college. I have 3 in college. I'm a single mom. Did we all catch that? The oldest is actually graduating in December from A&M. Gig 'em. that is my 16-month-old Archie. He rules the roost. My fiance Tim, as of a month ago, yay. So yeah, so that's my why.
So I am so fortunate to have inherited this team. I mean, it's really unusual to walk into a place where everybody who I have on this team want to be here. They're hardworking, they're dedicated. There's not a lot of me having to ask anybody to be here on time to work their hardest because they do it. And I'm just so grateful that this is who we've got at the ARC for our marketing team. So a little bit about me. I'm the marketing director, and really I do two main things. One is that I support the marketing team. So however I can help them to be better, more efficient, more effective salespeople is number one. The other is all of the advertising and PR. My job is to make the phone ring, get our folks to our website so that these ladies can then do a tremendous job of selling. My career background, I am entering my 20th year now in the aging services field. So my whole career has been in healthcare. I've done a variety of things in aging services, everything from home health and hospice, durable medical equipment sales, geriatric behavioral health. I've worked at both regional and corporate levels, managing and directing sales teams. My most recent job was at another CCRC, where I spent 7 years as their marketing and sales director. And that job required very much the same thing we do here, making sure we have the right census and occupancy in independent living, assisted living, memory care, nursing, rehab. Had a very strong component in that job of community outreach, advertising, public relations. So I feel so well prepared for this job. It's really unusual to kind of sidestep from one community to another and have a lot of these skills and background in place. So I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled that I kind of got my feet wet in another CCRC and was able to bring all those lessons here. And then outside of work, so there's my husband, Doug. We've been married about just over 15 years. He is an A&M grad. He is an entomologist by trade. So I really do come home and find crazy bugs in my freezer that he thinks are worthy of keeping in our freezer. But anyway, that's being married to a bug guy. I have 2 adult children who are grown and gone. One is in Chicago, one is in Dallas. Over here, Ryan is married to Kat, my daughter-in-law, and we have 1 grandbaby, Eamon. And if you look at that little guy there, I know many of you have grandchildren. Many of you have greats and maybe great-great-grandchildren, but I am standing by my words that is the greatest grandchild that has ever graced this planet. Every time I look at him, my heart just goes. So yes, you can think what you want about your grandchildren, but that's the kicker there. Then down here, I have my dog, Teak. And I actually, not that I don't love Teak, but I included him in here because that's actually a painting I did of Teak. And I just started taking oil painting classes last year, and I love that in my late 50s, I was able to find a talent I didn't even know I had. And that gives me so much hope for the future that I have no idea what's left to come while I'm still on this earth, and it's all very exciting to me. I also am a lifelong learner and will just kind of keep pursuing what gives me pleasure. This is my sibling family. That is most of my siblings there. I am 7th of 8 children and adore my siblings. There are a lot of lessons to learn when you're in a family that large. I say most importantly, I know how to share. I know how to resolve conflict. We were not allowed to beat each other up, so we had to use our words and find ways to resolve conflict. And finally, I learned how to use my voice. again, seventh of 8 children, you need to learn to speak up to, to edge the other ones out. So all of those things I have found to be really important in both my personal and professional world. So that's a little bit about me. So we'll shift then into, away from all of our amazing personal stories, into just what's going on in the ARC department. In our first 100 days here, there were a number of things that I thought I want to attack before moving on to others. First was giving the right tools to our sales department. And I am going to look at my notes now. So one of the things that Crystal Ball mentioned when she got up here was the division of labor within the department that we really thought was important to do. So salespeople who can really sell are not always that easy to come by. So we really wanted to support them in their ability to sell and take away all of that really time-consuming work that goes into bringing someone in here. So Crystal is unbelievably organized. You're downplaying what you do here, because by taking away all of that extra work for the sales team, they can get right back to answering those phone calls, getting back to who's coming in to tour, and it's a critical shift in the department to have much more focus on salespeople just doing sales, and Crystal taking over so many of those other duties. One of the other tools we thought was really important was to create more individualized pricing for our sales team. We got together in a multi-departmental powwow, so between Tabitha's team in the design studio and Gordon in finance and I got together and really started assessing each property separately. So rather than having a standard value placed on a unit because it's a certain floor plan, we go in, I should say Tabitha goes in, after each unit turns over and truly assess what are all the upgrades, what's the view like, how easy is access to all the activities. And we've put formulas into place to help quantify what the prices should be on those floor plans. So now when any units turn over, our sales team, we quickly make those assessments, and the team can help folks find the right place for them. In many cases, the ARC is able to recoup money that we should have been charging for some of these upgrades and all the extras. In other cases, the sales ladies are able to do a bit more finesse and find lower prices for folks that don't care as much about a big yard or a good view. So this individualized pricing really has helped them show off their sales talent and get the right home for the right person. One of the other things that we have found to be incredibly important is increased options for folks who are looking for their homes. So whether they're interested in this option or that option, we've got them all now. The community underwent an incredible campus development renovation in the past few years. We will always continue to redevelop and have those higher end units available for folks. We also rolled out a rental program, and we pretty quickly reached our cap that the board gave us for the number of folks who can come in and use the rental program. That has also been very successful. It's been successful for folks who only want to rent. It's also worked for some folks who want to move in. Their house sells quickly. They don't want to pay the entrance fee yet until the house is sold, so they rent for several months and then convert to entrance fee after they've been here. So a really nice win-win on the rental program. The other area that we've addressed are the traditional units, because so many folks who are moving here may have been priced out of the really high-end CDP units. So now we are upgrading our traditional units, and as the sales ladies tour people through homes, can work really closely with them to find out what upgrades are critical, what upgrades they may or may not need. We can get the right price point for them, turn those over without as much investment from the ARC. And again, it's a win-win because we're bringing folks into occupy units that would not have been sold otherwise. Also in May, we rolled out a whole new contract option for folks. So between the rental, CDP, and traditional units, folks can now choose whether they want the typical CCRC life plan, where they put the large amount of money down and then get discounts as they would need to move through assisted living or healthcare. This other option is called the Life Steps program, where they aren't going to get those discounts as they move into assisted living or nursing care, but they're going to be using those Life Step dollars after they've been here a year, but get to use those dollars for caregiver services or for ongoing renovations so that they can age in place without the desire to move into assisted living or nursing. So the more options, the better. I have no doubt that these increased options have really led to an increase in our census. Another big goal in my time here is to really increase our visibility out in the community. And we have contracted in July. We started contracting with a PR consultant. She has so many contacts throughout the media world in San Antonio, and we meet with her regularly, and we tell her all the really interesting things we're doing at the ARC, and then she says, okay, I'll hook you up with this photographer, I'll hook you up with this reporter, and so then we get basically free advertising. If any of you saw the Focus on SA episode where Steve and I were the guest stars on it, had we had to pay for that 10-minute long segment, that would have blown my budget for the entire year. Same thing with the Burks, who were kind enough to allow the San Antonio Express news reporter to come in. They ended up doing pretty much a full-page spread in the San Antonio Life section. That would have been a fortune had we had to pay for that out of pocket. So we are increasing our visibility out there and doing it really economically. So we will most definitely continue with that. I'm going to shift a little bit from where we started in these first 100 days to take kind of a bigger picture look at census and occupancy, both nationwide and then within the ARC. So if we look at census and occupancy nationwide, and this source is very updated information from NIC MAP Q2 2025, we can see that the senior living in general was stayed at a very stable pace from 2015 through 2020. Most, and again, this comparison is just for nonprofit communities and CCRCs, occupancy was 92%-ish solidly for 5 years. And then, of course, we had the pandemic, and that hit the senior industry extremely hard, as y'all probably experienced and as you can imagine. The entire industry at large has been on a gradual but steady increase from 2021. We are just now starting to approach pre-pandemic levels of occupancy on a nationwide basis. So that's good news for all of us. There's increased trust again from the general public in wanting to come back to communal living, and we are definitely seeing the benefits of that. If we look at occupancy of the ARC compared to nationwide numbers, nationwide Q2 was again the best quarter that has happened since the pandemic. Our Q2 numbers were about 86% compared to 92%. We edged up in our third quarter. I want you to keep this number in mind before we go to the next slide, because 92.7 is again where the community nationwide occupancy is. For assisted living, while nationwide averages are at 91%, we exceed those. We had a slight decline in the third quarter, but we still significantly exceed the outside competitors in terms of our occupancy in assisted living. In our skilled nursing, Nationwide, those numbers are about 86.9%. Had a dip in second quarter. Third quarter is much more similar to national numbers. It's a little bit deceiving, though, because at the ARC, the folks we serve here absolutely the majority are folks who have Medicare and TRICARE. Those payer sources are so much more lucrative than what most folks in the skilled nursing community have a high percentage of folks who are Medicaid recipients. So the fact that we have these kinds of numbers with those levels of payer sources are a really huge contributor to the bottom line here at the ARC. So really happy to have those numbers there. So overall, CCRCs are about 91%. We are at 87.57%. Again, I'm going to show you this number, that nationwide, independent living CCRCs are at 92.7. With the incredible job our sales team has done over these last couple of quarters, we are now currently either occupied or occupied and reserved units are at 92.4%. So I would agree, ladies. We are undoubtedly headed in the right direction. So really happy to report these numbers. Just a little more icing on the cake. We are budgeted this year for 38 total independent living entrance fee sales. For the entire fiscal year, which starts, the ARC starts in July through June, we are budgeted to sell 38. We are already at 31, and we're only on October 20th. So we are just, I've been in this industry a long time, and things go up and down, but we are on the ups right now, and we're going to celebrate all that while we can. So what do we plan for the future? How do we help create a financially sustainable community where residents thrive well into the future? Obviously, that's more than just a marketing team's effort. That's the effort of every department who is here to get folks in, to help them thrive, to have activities and dining and things that help sustain you for the rest of your life here. I got way ahead of myself. So we know that although every department is critical in helping this community stay well, we know there's a lot of pressure on marketing because the financial sustainability is so deeply tied into the number of sales and in particular the number of entrance fees we get every year. So what are our strategies? The PR campaigns are working very well. That is something we are going to continue and try to be as creative as possible and get the use of that earned media without spending as much as we would need to do. We'll need to stay creative, and we'll probably continue to ask for your help. For the community to hear your stories is so much more impactful than us telling why the ARC is a great place. So thank you to those of you who are already on board with those campaigns. We also need to stay highly targeted in our marketing strategies. So we have what's going on now as the golden tsunami is what's been described in the aging services field, which means all these baby boomers are hitting the point where they are now considering retirement communities. So this golden tsunami includes a huge group of people. However, we know that the folks who are both qualified in terms of assets and income are a much smaller level of that tsunami that we've got going on. And we know that here at the ARC, where our target market is even much more highly specialized in terms of folks with military and civilian retiree experience, we must remain incredibly highly targeted so that we're hitting the right people. That target marketing that we do involves, we have so many different strategies going on. We buy mailing lists, which include both email and snail mail information, and we can target those to the right age level, income level, asset level, and presence of a military or a federal employee within the household. So it's not inexpensive to order those mailing lists, but we order them annually, and then we can send those out both locally and nationally. So we are hitting the right people who are potential prospects. Other targeting that we do, and I think this is really, it's just really fun. We started employing last year geo-targeting or geo-fencing techniques, and these are, pretty innovative and new technologies where if we have prospects who are going to other competitors in town or other competitors nationwide, we can set targets on their devices for when they walk into a community, we will hit our digital ads to them. So they may be looking at a competitor down the street and they walk out and here's, they flip their phone back on and there's the ARC's advertisement. So, yeah. So, we were not creative enough to be the ones to develop this, and we're darn sure when people leave here, they're getting targeted by our competitors as well, but it's innovative and it's progressive, and the other thing that's really important about this is it's measurable. We can look at the data that we're putting out there. We literally can see how many impressions we're getting. We can see how many folks click through it to get to our website, and then how many folks go from the website to contacting us and getting a tour. Because it is so, those metrics are so easy to measure, we can see when we have rolled out digital campaigns, they always hit hard in the beginning, then they get a little bit of fatigue, so we can switch those out. So it's fun, it's innovative, it's really neat to stay on top of all these advances in the marketing world. We will continue with the increased product offerings that we're doing. That has hit very well, and we're going to continue to offer the rental, CDP, traditional life steps, and life plan offerings. Whether my team loves it or not, I'm huge on continuing our process improvement. So what we can measure, I like to measure, and see how we can employ technology that's out there for us, or for, it's been great to just kind of see what everybody's doing, and shifting around some roles has done enormous progress for our team and for the results here. And then finally, I think it's really important for us to strengthen our community engagement. It's this mixed blessing where, yes, we have a very highly targeted group of folks we're going after, so we employ those strategies, but we have to let San Antonio know who we are, because there are so many retirees here in town. So I see this as a two-pronged prospect here. To get community engagement involves bringing people in here, so I'm actively working with chambers, and we're having the Military Affairs Committee, which is a committee of the San Antonio Chamber, will be here tomorrow for lunch. And we're really looking for folks that we know who will qualify to come here, to have them use our property, get them in here, taste our lunches, see what our experience is here. We will have other ways we're bringing folks in. We are working on a holiday tour of homes and a lunch and learn. Those will be the first 2 weeks of December. We may very well be reaching out to some of you individually to see if you'd like to participate in that tour of homes, and better targeting of our wait list. We've got a vibrant wait list. We did a full audit of it this spring. And we have some folks who say, love it, happy to come, but it's going to be 10 years down the road, it's going to be 5 years down the road. Others, we feel like if we just keep inviting them in, getting them in to see some of the activities we're already doing, it'll nudge them here a little more quickly. So we're working on targeting that wait list. The other thing we're doing is getting out in the community more. I'm attending chamber events, San Antonio, Schertz, Cibolo, TPR events, MOA events. Diana is being much more active in getting out to the local hospitals. BAMC will be working more on, she's developed a whole great list of VFWs that we'll be presenting at and inviting folks in. She's also working really hard on getting other spreadsheets together for us, both of local HOAs that we could go and speak to homeowners associations, as well as churches. And I think churches are a really great partner because we are a nonprofit and mission-driven, which aligns really well with a lot of churches out there. And that I'm going to have that roll into how you can help. And I'm going to keep that segue going. As far as churches, Diana's done an amazing job of listing out all the churches nearby or in San Antonio that we would like to let them know about what the ARC has to offer. Cold calling these churches, just trying to get them on the phone or showing up in person doesn't work. It's a waste of Diana's time and everyone's time. Our hope is that if you all are attending churches out in the community and you would be willing to say, I will foster that introduction to the right committee that serves seniors in our church, please see either Crystal come to the front office, let her know what church you go to, and if you're willing for us to use your contacts there at the churches. We really are interested in using that way of getting in. So either Crystal or Diana, and we can start collecting names and who goes to what churches and who'd be willing to help us facilitate those relationships. Again, as far as how you can help, you already are. And as Crystal mentioned, and both Brandy said, thank you to those of you who, when they are doing tours, so willingly and graciously share your experience here. Let folks know organically and genuinely that this is a good place to be and that there are many places people can choose from, but the ARC is different. And sharing your experiences, sharing your homes. Many of you open your homes up to us for tours. Many of you serve as ambassadors when folks are coming in. So thank you for all that you are already doing. There's other very simple ways to help. Who has a Facebook account here? Anybody? Instagram? Anybody? That is the cheapest way for us to not spend a dime and you share the ARC stories. All you have to do is literally share anything that we post. John does an amazing job. He creates very, very professional Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn stories, especially stories like, the major news coverage that we got. All you have to do is click share and you're hitting your entire network. And again, it doesn't cost us a dime. So we would be thrilled, and we'll probably continue to ask for your help in helping share our social media. And that wraps up what we had to say. If folks have questions, we're happy to entertain them. If you have a question, just let us know, and we'd like to get the microphone to you so that it gets recorded if you have any questions. And if not, I'm going to say this is the best director's dialogue ever. No questions. All right. Well, thank you very, very much. We will be up here if you have any. We've got one.
Someone over here.
Darn it. I thought we were going to get out easily.
Nice try.
No, not that easy.
Nice try. I was curious what your participation is and involvement in the results of the resident survey.
So the resident survey, I'm not going to handle that question because that really was put on by the resident council members. I know Gloria's here. We all saw those results. We will be working together with the administrative team on starting a punch list on what needs to be addressed. We'll have committees working on all of that, but it's important. It's important for us to hear what residents say needs to be worked on here, and I'm really proud to be part of a team that will continue to try our very best to improve the services we have for you.
Terry, I just want to say thank you for your presentation. It's very enlightening, and I think that we're really quite fortunate to have you and your team on board, and we just wish you the best. But we like the open door policy that you have, and to communicate our interest and our desires. I think we need to be more proactive in every department, and I appreciate what you had to share with us today. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Oliver. Appreciate it. Okay. Jerry? Yes.
This is an easy question, and you did a great job. All of your people are always doing a great job.
Yes.
We love to see them showing folks around. But my question is, you said we've maxed out on the rentals. How many rentals do we have? None of us seem to know that.
Okay. Yes, we have received board approval for 10 rental opportunities. We will continue to discuss with the board if that's an appropriate number or if that needs to be expanded. It certainly meets a need. We brought in about $500,000 in rental agreements last year. That's not a small figure. Of course, it's also, while these ladies are selling units left and right, you almost hate to take any more off the market while they are in such demand right now. But that will certainly be a question we continue to pose to the board. Is this the right number? And we can adjust if needed.
Terry.
Yes, sir.
Are certain units like Traveling Treasures, Computer Club, that sort of thing, are those taken off available units so your occupancy rate excludes those? Or because they have a number on the door, are they still units?
That's a great question, and the answer is, if we can sell it, we still consider it part of the overall occupancy number. So there's good and bad news to that. I mean, the good news is that it's accurate. So of the 448 units we've got available, we include all of those that are currently in use. Not to scare anybody, but if these ladies keep selling like they're selling, we're going to have to keep reevaluating all these units that are in use and which ones are critical and how do we shift some of that around. But yes, it's an accurate number. So we count the number of unoccupied units to include those that are in use. Mm-hmm.
Now you got a green light. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
As a percentage, I guess I'd say, I think this rental program's been going for what, about 2 years, something like that?
Year and a half, almost
Year and a
2
half,
years.
2 years.
Mhm.
As a percentage, what kind of percent of those have gone on to buy into living here?
And correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, I think we've had a total of 13 rentals so far, and 2 of those have converted, and yeah. Yep. Okay. We are a few minutes early to wind up, but if there are no other questions, or if you'd rather talk to us privately, we can do that up front as well. So thank you so much for your time. It is a pleasure to be here with you all.